Hi everyone, my name is Melanie Manuel and thank you so much for having me. I'm the chef and owner of Celesta Restaurant. We're a little vegan restaurant on Milwaukee's east side, and I'm here to share with you some interesting information. I think it's interesting about plant-based eating and plant-based lifestyle and how it's exhibited around the world. So the first thing I want to share with you is what is a vegan. A vegan is a person who avoids animal products. That includes consuming animal products and consuming animal products, including things like leather and wool. Many vegans consider animal products to be commodities, meaning that the animal products are bought and sold and the animals are treated like objects rather than sentient beings. So there are three reasons why someone might identify as vegan. The first reason is for health. The second reason is for the environment. And the third reason is due to ethics. In terms of health, a lot of people consider a plant-based diet to be much more heart healthy, better for diabetes, and so forth. In terms of the environment, there's a lot of data that demonstrates there are dire consequences for our environment due to animal agriculture. And in terms of ethics, animals are sentient beings. So people who identify as vegan choose not to consume them. Some people might identify with one of those three labels, someone might identify as all three. Regardless, a lot of times people utilize that identity, vegan. So there are many different cultures around the world that follow some variation of a plant-based diet. Evidence of a vegan diet has been traced to parts of India as early as 3300 BCE. And there's written evidence that suggests many ancient Greek and Roman philosophers followed some form of a plant-based diet. That includes Plutarch, Plotinus, and the Roman poet Ovid. Many Rastafarians follow a diet known as Ital, whereby they eat natural foods and they avoid animal products. And in Ethiopian Orthodox faith, there are 180 fasting days during which adherents consume one meal, and that meal is also devoid of animal products. Many Asian Buddhists follow some form of a vegan diet, avoiding meat and dairy. There are a lot of famous Jewish rabbis who are proponents of the vegetarian diet, and Israel is actually the country in the world with the most people who identify as vegan. There's some Christian sects as well that advocate for some form of plant-based eating. That includes the followers of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. And it wasn't really until the 19th century that in Britain and the US there was a big movement towards plant-based eating. One of the most famous vegans or vegetarians was Percy Bysshe Shelley, who was a famous poet. The word vegan was coined in 1944 in Britain by a group of people who were involved in an organization called the Vegetarian Society, and they wanted to define who a person was who didn't eat any animal products. That's when they came up with the word vegan. So as you can see, plant-based eating has had a long history all over the world. It's had so many different phases and influenced so many different cultures, and I believe it's just now gaining ground in the modern era. The Economist and Forbes magazine named the year 2019 the year of the vegan, and I think that the sale of vegan foods is just going to keep growing, and interest in the vegan lifestyle will increase. So today I thought it'd be really fun to teach you how to make a really simple, affordable, plant-based dish, and this is based on an Ethiopian fasting dish that some people eat when they break their fast, their one meal a day, and it is a chickpea scramble. So the ingredients we have today are onions, a jalapeno, a tomato, a green pepper, chickpea flour, water, salt, and oil. Super simple. So I have my onion chopped up. The next thing I'm gonna do is chop up my green pepper and my tomato. So what you want to do is seed your tomato, and the way you do that is cut it into chunks, and you can just take your thumb or a knife and pull the seeds right out. So before I continue cutting up my vegetables, I'm going to mix up my chickpea flour with some water. And the reason I'm doing it now is because it needs to sit for 10 minutes. Chickpea flour is really affordable. It's about $8 for a 5-pound bag. And all it is ground up chickpeas. It's gluten-free and it's super high in protein. So here in this bowl, I have a cup of chickpea flour and I'm simply adding a cup of water. And now what I'm gonna do is just whisk it up so that it's well combined. And I'll show you the batter here. It's pretty thin, but it will thicken as we cook it in the pan. Now I'm gonna cut up my green pepper. Here's how I like to do it. I like to cut off the ends first, so you're left with the center. Turn it upright, slice down the side, and you can open up the pepper like this, so it's really easy to cut the membrane out so your seeds don't get all over the place. And then you can really easily cut the pepper into cubes, just like that. You don't have to be exact here because, like I said, this is a chickpea scramble, so it's meant to be kind of like a home style type of dish. So I'll cut up the rest of this green pepper. Now I'm gonna cut up my final vegetable, a jalapeno. You can of course leave jalapeno out if you don't like spicy food, but I like a little kick. If you don't want it too hot, all you have to do is remove the seeds. So it's the same procedure, cut the ends off. Because it's smaller, you're just gonna cut it down the middle. And now with a paring knife, you can actually really simply cut the membrane out and avoid the seeds. So I have my pan heating up here on my induction burner, and just a reminder of my vegetables. I have chopped white onion, chopped tomato, chopped green pepper, minced jalapeno. But of course, if you don't like these vegetables, you could do something like kale or sweet potato, anything you like. So now that my pan is pretty warm, I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of olive oil and swirl it around in the pan. And first I'm gonna add my onions. I'm gonna saute these up until they get soft, maybe 3 to 5 minutes. Then I'll add my green pepper and my jalapeno, cook that another 2 or 3, and then finish with my tomato. So I've been sauteing off my onions, my peppers, and my jalapenos for maybe 5 to 8 minutes. And if you can see it in my pan here, you can see that the onions have started to brown a little, get a little translucent, and the 2 types of peppers have gotten really bright green, which means we're on our way to softening them to that perfect texture. So now I'm gonna add my chopped tomatoes, and it's not gonna get all watery because we remove those seeds. I'm gonna mix them around to distribute the moisture. And at this point, I'm gonna add some salt. The salt will help break the tomatoes down as well as the onions. So I like my tomatoes kind of broken down a bit. It makes it a little bit saucy, but obviously you can cook this down to the texture that you really like. So I just finished sauteing off my vegetables and I put them in a separate bowl. You can see the tomatoes broke it down a little bit, make them a little bit saucy. And I still have my pan here on my burner, so it's still at medium, a little bit medium-high heat. Now I'm gonna cook up my chickpea scramble. So I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of olive oil. I'm gonna swirl it around in my pan, and I'm gonna take my chickpea and flour and water batter that's been sitting and pour it right in, just like you would scrambled eggs. In fact, it looks quite similar. And what'll happen is the heat on the bottom will get it to start thickening. Take a look at that. You can see it starting to clump up. And you can fold it. And at this point, I like to add a little salt because it will distribute really nicely in the liquid batter. Be nice and evenly seasoned. Look at that. This is going to be delicious. This is a great breakfast dish, or you could take it to work or school. Packages really nicely. Again, it's super affordable. And if you're not sure where to get chickpea flour, you can find it at health food stores. You can order it online, or you can get it at my favorite place, an Indian market. Look at that. At this point, you can cook it kind of as dry as you'd like. I like mine a little bit drier, so I'm gonna cook it off a little longer, and you'll see it'll start getting little brown spots where it's interacted with the heat. You can hear all the traffic going by my restaurant here downtown. Oh yeah, look at that. I think it looks ready. What do you think? So I'm going to turn my burner off. And now I'm going to assemble my dish. Now I'm going to plate my chickpea scramble. I have a deep bowl here. I'm just going to put my chickpea scramble in there. Top it with a bunch of veggies. You can add a little more salt, or you can add some cracked pepper, some pepper flakes if you want it a little spicy. But I think it's time to try it. Let's see how it turned out. It's so delicious. Super nutritious, made 100% from plants. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about veganism and vegan cooking today, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your event. Thank you so much for having me. If you want to learn more, feel free to contact me on Facebook or Instagram through my Celesta restaurant page.